Chair, it's 5:31 if you'd like to get started.
Great, thank you so much. Let's go ahead. Thank you, Callie. I'll call this meeting to order. Please call the roll and verify presence of a quorum.
Sure thing. Dalton Kaysen,
Here.
Michael Steedman, absent at this time. Maya Johnson.
Here.
Sunny Allen.
I'm here.
Shonda Golden.
Present.
Claudia Davis. Brian Harvey will be absent tonight. Raymond Sherwood.
Present.
Antonio Taylor.
Present.
We have a quorum of the Ward 1 Neighborhood Advisory Board.
Great, thank you, Callie. Moving on to item A2, which is public comment. Opening up public comment.
Comments heard under this item will be limited to 3 minutes per person and may pertain to matters both on and off the NAB's agenda. The NAB may not take action upon any matter not agendized on today's agenda. When you are called on for public comment, please state your name for the record and begin speaking. The timer will begin when you say your name, and you will be afforded 3 minutes. If you're an attendee in the Zoom meeting and would like to make public comment, please raise your hand at this time. Starting in chambers, we have one public comment from Matt.
These are the mics. Hi, everybody. My name is Matt Othmer. My comment is in regards to a construction staging area that is located between Ryland and Willow Street at Ryland, Willow, and Park. There's a half block that's empty right there. We live adjacent to that. It's been an empty lot for at least 5 years now, and it's become a perpetual staging area for city works projects. We went through this a couple of years ago when we were having similar issues. Basically, the impact on the residential area from these staging areas is really, I don't know what the word, it's just, it has a huge negative impact on those of us living around it. That's noise, that's dust blowing, that's erosion of mud into the street that just like fills our street. We are not positive that they are breaking regular codes, but there's noise at 5:40 in the morning some mornings. There's noise after 8 p.m. at night some nights. And we're talking backup noises like rock processing, like the whole, everything that you can imagine out of a huge construction project. Like I said, we went through this a few years ago. We're having similar issues. The city, I think, found a new space to stage that project, but now we're back at it. And now we're at least 6 months into this current project. It's a very residential area. There's 2 different apartment buildings. One is subsidized senior housing that's directly downwind of this huge pile of dirt that is being processed. And then there's several apartment buildings. There's our house. I know that the law may say one thing or another about multi-use downtown Reno and the ability for these projects to go on here. The spirit of how these spaces should be used, I think, is not being reflected insofar as I don't think anybody would agree that we should take a residential neighborhood and put a perpetual construction project within it. With our family personally, they seem to be expanding beyond the actual borders of the property. And this kind of, the straw that broke the camel's back on this specific project is a couple weeks ago, they backed a roller tractor into our fence, breaking the fence. And again, they backed through a public alleyway and then hit our fence. So I don't think they should have been in the alleyway to begin with. And they hit the fence, they broke it. Clearly, our daughter was not out there at the time, but you can understand that if you're living in a neighborhood, you don't really want large machinery operating in such a way that they might back into a fence where your daughter might be playing. So the whole lesson of the story is like, we would like a way to move forward that doesn't involve this space being a never-ending construction site for city works projects. Thank you.
All right, with that, I do not have any other public comment in person or online. And I'll state for the record that Mike Steedman joined us at 5:34 p.m.
Okay, great. Does that conclude public comment?
It does, yes.
Great, thank you so much. Okay, now we'll go ahead and move on to item A3, approval of agenda. So this would be, or wait, yeah, approval agenda, this agenda. All right, can I get a motion to approve the agenda, please?
Mike Steven makes a motion to approve the.
Okay, great. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Great. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. All right, now we'll go ahead and move on to item A4, which is the election of officers, starting with A4.1, election of board chair 2026. Okay, so is anybody interested in taking a turn at chair? Anybody?
Dalton, are you willing to do it again?
I am willing to do it
Okay,
again.
I nominate Dalton
Okay, thank
to
you.
be our board chair for another year.
Great.
Mike Steven seconds that.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, thank you. That's nice of you all. All right, moving on to item A.42, election of board vice chair. Anybody want?
I think we should have somebody younger than.
Okay, all right. Anybody else interested? Don't be afraid. It's fun.
Somebody else got it.
Anthony. You like Anthony, not?
Have to. Also have to know.
Yeah. I'm just.
Shonda Golden, for the record, I nominate Antonio Taylor.
All right, all those. Oh, can I?
I second it. Mike Steedman.
All right, all those in favor, say aye.
A discussion. Is that okay with you?
If so, yes, I would like for discussion of the topic, please, if that is the case.
Okay, I'll start. I think Anthony, you prefer Anthony, right?
Yes.
Okay. Perfect. All right. Well, in that case, I think Anthony would be a great vice chair, and I am okay with that. Any other comments?
I think Anthony would be a great vice chair because he's very well versed on all the subjects and topics that we have.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Great. All right. So we already had the motion in the second, so let's go ahead and vote. All those in favor for Antonio as vice chair, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, the motion carries. Congratulations, Anthony.
Thank you
All
very much.
right, we'll go ahead and close that item.
Does that mean I can't sit in the middle anymore?
Yeah, get out. No, this. All right, so moving on to A4.3, election of board secretary. You just started, so is everyone okay with you doing it again? With Maya, sorry, yeah, Maya. Are you okay keeping doing it?
Yeah.
Good. That'd be great.
All right, any comments before we do a motion? All right, can I get a motion, please?
Sunny Allen, I will nominate Maya to be our secretary continuing. Thank you.
Mike Steedman, I'll second.
All right, great. All those in favor say aye, please.
Aye.
Aye, sorry. All those opposed? Great, the motion carries. Thank you so much. All right, we'll go ahead and move on to item A5, which is approval of minutes. So we're going to do both October and December at the same time, just so you're aware. Can I get a motion to approve the previous month's minutes?
Claudia Davis, move to approve the minutes from October and December meetings.
Great, thank you. Can I get a second?
Ray Shore for the record, I second.
All right, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Great, the motion carries. All right, moving on to A6, which is council liaison report, and I think I spied her. Yep, she's here. Kathleen Taylor, thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and Mr. Vice Chair. Happy New Year, everybody. Thank you for having me. Just a couple of things. We have the Reno City Council and Redevelopment Agency Board meeting on Wednesday this week. The next Planning Commission meeting is on January 21st. And then we also have Reno Council on January 28th, and then the NAB on February 9th. Those are the upcoming events. There were no Ward 1 agenda items on the 1/7 Planning Commission meeting. We have at our meeting on the Wednesday, we have an ordinance adoption of our child care text amendment. So that's exciting. And We have an event on January 18th at 4 o'clock. It's the 40th Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Annual Interfaith Memorial Service, and that will be at the McKinley Arts and Cultural Center. And for some of our younger,
What time?
it is at 4 p.m. And all of this stuff is on our calendar too, if you don't write it down. We are introducing Speedway Saturdays of all ages, and that begins on January 21st, 4th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and it's at Evelyn Mount Northeast Community Center. And it's Mario Kart Deluxe as a racing game. If you're 12 years and older, you can come unattended. But anybody under 12 years old will need a chaperone. I don't know what Mario Kart is, but it sounds like a really good time. And that's all I have for you tonight. Do you have any questions of me? Thank you all for being here. Appreciate it.
No worries. Avoid the blue Cheryls.
Oh, on the Mario Kart? Okay.
Hold on.
Great. Thank you so much for taking the time to come here in person. All righty, we're going to go ahead and close that item and move on to A7, Staff Liaison Report, and I'll throw it over to Callie.
Hi, everyone. Callie Shai, staff liaison for the record. I've just got a couple updates and some of those same announcements that Councilmember Taylor just went over. So you'll just be able to see those written down, and this presentation is attached to the meeting online. So if you want to find where some of those events were that she mentioned, you can just look at this presentation online. Just a reminder about Reno Direct, the city's non-emergency service center. You can call them Monday through Friday from 9 to 4 or submit a service request online 24 hours a day. A reminder about quorum checks. Just a reminder to confirm your attendance with me and the board secretary if and when we contact you. Seems like there's been some issues with calendar invites, so just let me know if you haven't received those or if you're having trouble viewing them. Just making sure that we can establish a quorum for all of our meetings. Another reminder about the city's newsletters, especially the development project and council agendas newsletters, as well as any others you might be interested in. This just ensures you stay informed about your community, including news, events, and updates specific to Ward 1. These are all of the engagement opportunities that Councilmember Taylor went over. So like I said, this presentation is added online. So if you want to find the times, the dates, locations later, just look this up attached to the meeting. Some board membership stats. Congratulations to all of our newly and re-elected officers. There are currently 4 vacancies on the board, 2 of which are alternate member vacancies. So if you know anyone who's interested in serving, point them over to Reno.Gov /boards to submit an application. Additionally, all member information, including term dates, can be found on the Ward 1 NAB page. So you'll just find Ward 1, you'll go to members, click on your name, and your term date will be there. So if you are coming up on the end of your term and you'd like to reapply, you can just reapply at Reno.Gov /boards. Tonight's project is tentatively scheduled for the January 28th City Council meeting. So if possible, please submit your worksheets and for our officers, your public comment by the end of the week or about next Tuesday. So I can get those sent over to the Development Services Department, and your comment and feedback can be recorded in the official record. Then Councilmember Taylor also already went over our upcoming meeting dates, but they're here as well for your convenience. With that, I don't have any other announcements, but happy to answer any questions if you have any.
Is a term?
The NAB term? Yes, 2 years.
All right, any other comments?
Sure, for the record. I do have one question.
Sure.
You mentioned last meeting that you guys were going to try to get RPD representatives meeting with each of the NABs. And was it January or February? What's that looking like?
I think RPD is working on some outreach opportunities. I don't have any exact details right now, but I would keep an eye out. As soon as we have a better idea of what they're working on, I'll bring it to the NAB. Thank you, Ray.
All right, any other questions or comments? All righty, great. We'll go ahead and move on to development projects now, which is starting with B1. Which is ABN 26-000. Is that 3 zeros? 04. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, members of the NAB, good evening. For the record, Garrett Gordon, tonight representing Jacobs Entertainment. Nice to see all of you. It's been a little while. Kind of a funky name for the application, but all we could come up with is Block F Alley Abandonment, which is the name of the block that we're proposing to abandon. Is this working? No. Okay, so aerial map to give you a little context of this proposed abandonment of an alleyway. So you can see we have, is this working tonight? No, not this one. Okay. Second Street on the south there, you can see the block right between Washington and Ralston. And then to the north of the block is the railroad tracks. And then Bell Street bisects this block. We're proposing to abandon. Next slide. You can see it's kind of a smorgasbord of zoning in this area, but right on the north west corner in purple, you can see the addresses 525, 235, 537, and 250. So we're proposing to abandon that north-south alleyway, which Jacobs owns both sides of the street. So it won't affect any other property owners other than Jacobs. Then you head up that little alleyway where it makes a T, and you can see on the top there, it goes east-west. We're also proposing to abandon that area as well. And you ask the question, well, who owns that large parcel 0 to the north? That's us as well. So we own everything to the north, everything in the south. So the one legal finding for an abandonment is no material injury to the public. I think we check that box because we own all sides of this alleyway. And clearly you can see to the, if you look on Bell Street, the property 220 can easily access Bell Street for access. They don't own anything on the alleyway. They wouldn't use the alleyway. As you head to the other side of Bell Street, they can access Bell through Second. And then even if you go up to that alleyway, we're proposing only to abandon the east side of Bell. Heading west on Bell would still remain open. So there'd still be 2 fire access points, Bell Street and the alleyway. Here's a little better view from our engineers. So you can see on the vicinity map, the T I spoke about. So the alley north-south between Ralston and Bell, and then just the top T, not all the way to Bell, not all the way over to Washington, that stays open for 2 means of access. And again, we own all the parcels on both sides, so this creates a nice contiguous area. And what's the area for? You might have read or heard about. We're proposing 4 soccer fields in downtown Reno. You can see on the right-hand side of this screen, there's one of them, and you can see it kind of sits right on top of that alleyway, which runs north-south and east-west. It's also great, you can see on the other side of Ralston where the festival grounds are located. Also, there'll be a 3rd soccer field there on 2nd Street. We hope and believe there'll be a significant amount of traffic, foot traffic, family traffic coming back and forth from Ralston, coming to access that soccer field, walking up from the soccer field on Ralston to the parking lot to hit the soccer field there on Washington. And so it's obviously a lot safer to have that alleyway blocked off for no cars driving through there while we hope are a ton of families enjoying downtown Reno during soccer season. Just a couple views. So this is if you're standing on Bell Street in the alleyway looking east. So we would abandon kind of where that red hydrant is. That over to Ralston would be abandoned, but you can see where the alleyway is, kind of where the person was taking the picture, that remains open. And then looking the opposite direction. So this is standing on Ralston, now looking west toward Washington. This would be the abandoned area going east-west, and we own both sides of it. You can see it's not, or you can see, but you probably already know it's not well-traveled anyway. And so it would be very helpful to abandon it and create this soccer field experience for our future visitors. And then this is standing on Second now looking north. And the soccer field would be on my right if I was looking north at this, this alley. Again, we own both sides of it. It's not well used, allows us to create a contiguous parcel. So we're asking to abandon this stretch as well. And with that, short and sweet tonight, I'm happy to answer any questions, but just to abandon that T for some great downtown soccer fields. So, Mr. Chairman, I'm happy to answer any questions, and thank you for your time tonight.
Thank you. All right. Anybody have questions? All right. Go ahead, Maya.
Maya Johnson for the record. This is kind of, so I'm generally in support of all the development that's happening in that part of town, but I would like to share some concerns about the mix and how this relates to consolidating parcels and having large, like singular, like whole block developments. Because my concern is that this neighborhood as a whole, we have concert venues, we have restaurants, we have different businesses, 245 North Arlington with the retail space in the bottom. Individually, I think this is great, but I'm a little bit concerned about the mix because I walk around that area a fair bit and the pedestrian experience is not very good. And my impression of that is because there are a lot of flat, large developments that are only active during certain times. For example, if there's not a concert going on at the Globe Plaza or the festival grounds, then that's just kind of dead space. If you're walking past it, you have to walk past that entire block and there's just a wall or a fence and there are no stores, there's no visual interest, there are no residences, there's just it's just flat. And so I'm hoping that that maybe you can alleviate some of my concerns here because having sports facilities sounds like a great idea to me in and of itself, but I'm concerned about we've got the concert grounds, we've got a lot of surface parking, and we're going to have sports fields. And what the image that I'm getting here is lots of flat space, lots of entire blocks that are limited time kind of event specific use. And I am hoping that as part of downtown, we can see some more granular development there and more mixed use because the balance right now is very event heavy and not very retail and residential. So in terms of, I mean, fundamentally as a property owner, I don't want to tell Jacobs, we can't tell Jacobs, do this or do that. It's your property. You get to do what you want. But if we're going to abandon public rights of way to consolidate parcels, I hope that that will be in service of a healthy mix of uses in the neighborhood so that we have activity all day long and not just when there's a sports game or a concert.
Great question. Thank you very much. Let me try to answer it. So, I worked on the Red Development Project, right? It was Park Lane Mall, got knocked down. It's taken a decade, if not 2 decades, to get where it is today. I worked on the Reno Aces project. I was fortunate to do that. The Freight House District was planned. It took about 13 years finally to get some ballpark apartments there. So it takes some time, right? Kind of brick by brick. And I can personally say Mr. Jacobs has invested close to $1 billion in this area. First to get a canvas and then to start brick by brick building it out. Certainly the soccer fields play into and support the development agreement, which is a mixed use entertainment district. And I know you mentioned the Globe Plaza and the festival grounds, right? Phenomenally successful so far. I want to take it to the next level, but you're right. It's kind of like weekends and evenings for concerts and festivals. We think bringing families downtown with the soccer fields, if you look at some of the data, we believe we'll have 160 teams here in June for a full week. And that is going to be families, and they will be using now the festival grounds. We're going to do some family events. You could have concerts there during the day. The Globe Plaza, we envision having kind of the medal ceremonies for the kids. They can get up there and get their medals and have concerts there. So it's all tying together. And to your point about retail, we would love retail, but what we're hearing is you got to bring the people first and make sure people feel safe down there second in order to start putting up the retail. We got the apartments put up. There'll be a restaurant there on the corner of 245. I'm just working on that lease right now. The Sands is the prior Sands, the J Resort, will have a front door next year finally on 4th Street. We still have plans for the old wedding chapel. We're preserving that building and have certainly some ideas there. And to your point about safety, part of the Entitlement for the 4 soccer fields is a minor conditional use permit with staff. We did a traffic and parking study and pedestrian study for the Glow Plaza. We built on that for the festival grounds. Now we're building on that for the soccer fields. So we'll have a right to close Ralston. We'll have a right to put up blinking lights for crosswalks. Festival grounds has been safe in our minds, but taking it to the next level of thousands of families being in downtown Reno, public safety is absolutely critical, and staff is reviewing our report now. So I would say, I think we're off to a heck of a start. There's a lot more to come, and look forward to working with you and the NAB, hopefully over the next months, years to keep it going. But we're excited about the soccer fields and about this, this abandonment tonight.
Thank you.
I have a quick follow-up since it's in context with Maya's. Will the property be open so pedestrians can walk through like when it's not being used, or would you prefer it kind of just be closed off?
The abandonment area?
Or just kind of the whole property? Like, can someone just walk through it when it's not being used and get to the other side of the?
Oh, the soccer fields?
Yeah, yeah.
The soccer fields will be fenced just for safety purposes, and it's over $1 million a piece to put in artificial turf, and so we wouldn't want that to get ripped up or
100%.
destroyed. But we're working with staff on the fencing to make sure it's not just block fencing, you can see through it, but it'll be protected, given the investment.
Okay, great. I just personally support the abandonment. I find no issues with it, so.
I appreciate it.
Any other
Thank you, Mr.
questions?
Chairman.
Shonda Golden for the record. In your drawing, you had a building next to the soccer fields. We can go to that. What are those buildings?
So the large building is a building that we own that currently has a number of tenants in there. One of the tenants is athletic based. We think it'll play well with the soccer fields, may allow them to use those fields if necessary. The smaller building to the south is the historic Bethel Church. It was just recently put on the historic registry. And that parcel doesn't touch the alleyway, and they obviously remain and keep their access up Bell Street.
Also, you said that you're going to keep Chapel of the Bells, correct?
Chapel of the Bells, correct. That's there. There's some plans to build that out, but we love that concept and love that building, and correct, that's not going anywhere.
Okay. Thank you. I love what Jacobs is doing. I think you guys are doing a great job.
We appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I got a question. Very sure for the record. Follow-up question. You said that there were some traffic surveys done. Was there a traffic survey done specifically for this abandonment?
No, a traffic study isn't required for an abandonment because it's not really a use for trips. But there is one being done for that soccer field to make sure people can enter and exit safely.
Okay. Another question. What's the actual benefit for the public? Not just Jacobs and the soccer fields, but what is the actual benefit for the actual public? Not general terms, but specifically, what's the benefit for the public in general? Especially since those soccer fields are going to be fenced off, they're not going to be public access unless it's a scheduled event. How is that going to benefit the public?
Yeah, I appreciate that question. I think you look at the master plan policies that the public put together and participated in and Reimagine Reno. I mean, that was a years-long process. And on the top of that list was number one, revitalize downtown. And I think if you look at this block, look across the street at the festival grounds, what it was and where it's headed is absolutely a public benefit. You can now bring your families downtown and go to the festival grounds and go to an event. You can bring your family downtown and go to the Glow Plaza. A recent study came out, we're 52 flat fields short in this community for a community of our size. So now that we're going to have 4 new flat fields downtown, which will be fenced for security purposes, but we imagine not only having tournaments over the weekends of like folks coming over the hill, but we're working with local soccer organizations, Apex being one of them, that they can use those fields year round. Because my daughters play soccer, and I know the soccer parents complain, Moana is turf, is grass, it gets beat up in the wintertime. South Valleys is grass, it gets beat up in the wintertime. Having turf fields where it's cold right now, but you could have a soccer practice out there right now, which we currently don't have. So it's a huge public benefit to all of the sports parents around town being able to use some of these fields. For the abandonment, it allows for the two parcels to get a little larger in order to accommodate soccer, but also you can see that yellow area. Around that area would be bleachers, also probably some food trucks. And then to the north of it, a public benefit absolutely is public safety, making sure folks can cross Ralston and head up to the other soccer field in a safe and meaningful manner.
Shonda Golden for the record. So next to the church, you've got that big patch of, you see that?
Behind it?
Yep.
Yes.
What are you going to use that for? Roller skating?
That would be great.
That would be great.
As of now, I think just connectivity from the alley, kind of walking down and walking up. It's just kind of an open area. Eventually, I mean, to your point about the future of this corridor, Mr. Jacobs has said publicly he believes West Second Street is perfect for residential, market rate, nice upscale residential along Second, starting with 245 Arlington. Then we're moving down, and then there's a soccer field. Then we have the Gibson, which is currently a preserved building. It's affordable housing there. And then you can see that open area. We could add more housing. And then as you continue to head east, more housing. So he thinks it'd be a great area for housing along Second, given on the south side of Second, you have the mod right there. And then there's plans on the other side of Stevenson. It was the old Greyhound station. They have plans for some high-rise units. So we think it'd be a perfect residential corridor there along Second eventually, but takes a little time, but that's part of the vision that's been disclosed publicly.
Anthony Taylor for the record. I understand. I'm going to use your telepathy. Currently, there are liabilities, especially with the homeless and with gangbangers, because I have seen police apprehend drug dealers and gangbangers on that alleyway, exactly in that alleyway, multiple times. And with potential with the criminals and climbing fences, you don't want to have that legal anything over your head. So it is important to close that area off. In addition, with the soccer fields, it is also great because you have a high school next door to it, Innovations High School. And by having these fields, this would allow those high school students to be able to play extracurricular activities such in NIAE sports, so they can have college eligibility, so they can be able to go to UNR, U of U, any school around the West. So that is a big benefit overall. And in addition to that, by having soccer festivals and sports competitions, you're able to get parents from all over the community saying like, hey, we're playing here in downtown for the, for a competition between, like, let's say the Money Ranch versus Innovations or West Reno High, because we don't see that many soccer fields or any outdoor space unless you go like north of the on I-80 to the other side of the to the parks, or across the river where there is open space. So there is a dearth of open space within the West downtown area, and I do believe it is good. And your perspective of we got to bring people in, got to bring those urban pioneers in. To have, that development, because, we do have amenities, we do have the food, we do have the entertainment. You do need the people too. And yeah, by bringing that, it makes the livability aspect of living downtown better. So I agree with you. And yeah, that's my 2 cents.
I have one more. Shonda Golden for the record. With your soccer fields, will you have shade? So it gets hot, and then you've got the shade issues, and then no one wants to go out there because it's too hot. There's no shade.
As of now, there's no proposed shade structures, but we can say a lot of the California teams are coming over now and playing on Minogue's Field, which is turf, kind of be the same turf. No shade there. It gets hot, but I can tell you these same teams are going to Phoenix in the summertime, or going to Vegas in the summertime. So it'll be a welcome, actual cooler experience here in Reno. But it's a good point. But it's all, I do want to say, we're currently working with the company and staff for, the fences will be, 8 feet or 10 feet, but soccer balls get kicked higher than that, right? So we have to come up with contraction where nets come up behind the goals to make sure the soccer ball is not going in the Ralston Street or not going in the Washington Street, but then potentially bringing it back down so those aren't kind of always up. So aesthetically, we're thinking about, public safety wise, we're thinking about, hopefully the whistles won't be too loud for everyone, but it should be okay.
Mike Steedman for the record. Hi, Garrett. How's it going?
Going great. Good to see you.
Good
Happy
to
New
see
Year.
You too. Happy New Year. A couple things. Will you put some lights in, you think? Or depends on down the road?
As of now, we are going to use the existing light poles that are on these blocks and think that's enough, but we assume it's going to be successful and maybe add some more lights. But we're also trying to be respectful to, surrounding residential areas, that not having a 24-hour tournament. So as of now, our soccer fields would end, I think the use permit was like 9 o'clock at night.
Okay. Wonderful.
And so in the summertime, we're fine. Wintertime, which is why you want those artificial turf, because we could actually use them in the wintertime. Existing poles or temporary lights as well. Apex has some temporary lights they use, I think at Moana or South Valley sometimes, or other places. And so we're working through that, but yeah, there will be some lights.
And then one other question. My daughter's 12 plays soccer. This will be great. Wintertime, you have that shadowing effect. So if a big building is put in front of the one, it'll shade it out and it'll just be ice. So just a thought process.
Yeah.
Going forward. That's your problem.
It is our problem, but it's a great point. And your staff the Reno staff is so great. Like, they're requiring us to do hydrology kind of reports now, just to look at the runoff and the stormwater, the river's so close. So yeah, we need to make sure if and when we build, we're respecting the drainage and,
I'm talking
and the shadowing and everything.
If you build a building in front, then you know how big buildings are on some of the streets, it's ice halfway through the street.
Sure.
So if you get any kind of precipitation on the field, and if you have a big building, it will shadow it and it won't melt.
And the ice won't melt. That's a good
So
point.
for wintertime stuff.
Yeah.
Just
point,
a thought.
Thank you.
Yeah. Not the other stuff.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, any other comments? Yeah, go ahead, Maya.
Claudia Davis.
Oh, sorry.
Are you planning to incorporate or pave over these two alleyways, use them for your soccer fields, or are they still going to be traffic available?
We think that as far as the alley on the north, that would remain kind of open for pedestrian traffic.
Okay.
The one that runs north-south, you can see probably a little of that yellow encroaches onto it. But again, we think it's probably pedestrian activity, so folks can queue and can access the field.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Sorry, one last question, Sunny Allen, for the record. Are there going to be bathroom facilities?
There are. Staff is requiring bathrooms.
Thanks.
I have a follow-up question. So you said that these were going to be open to the public, but only for scheduled events. So what you're saying is they're not truly going to be open to the public. So Joe Blow, dad can't take his kids to the soccer field, when it's not being used at any time. It's all gated off. It has to be scheduled and approved through Jacobs Entertainment, correct?
That's correct. It's private property with private insurance, and so would be fenced subject to scheduling.
Okay. So since it's not open to the public, then there actually is no public benefit to the betterment of this alleyway.
I think putting heads in beds, which is RSCVA's mission, and the master plan to revitalize downtown Reno. I would say if you ask anyone who has traveled downtown over the last 10 years where it was and where it is, it's a huge public benefit. And this wouldn't only put heads in beds at Jacobs facility, but all the other hotels downtown, which they pay sales tax, they pay gaming tax, they pay gas tax. We're a tourism-based economy here, and the more tourists we can bring in and the more local amenities we can provide to our residents, I think this is the epitome of a public benefit, in my opinion, sir.
I guess we're up to 3 on that.
Then we'll move to Maya next.
Maya Johnson for the record. Did I hear you correctly that that gray area south of the church it's not part of the sports field project, but that it may be used for residential in the future?
Potentially, yeah. I mean,
Okay.
there's no plans, but I know Mr. Jacobs has said he envisioned Second Street being potentially a residential corridor.
Okay, and then regarding the alley that you said would probably remain open for pedestrians, is that something that's going to be open to pedestrians at all times, or only when the fences are open and there's a event going on? Like if I'm down there at like 2 p.m. on a Tuesday and there's no soccer game, can I walk through that area? Is that going to be open to all pedestrians, or is it just going to be kind of a part of the facility?
It's a good question. My understanding that it would be open. I don't want to like guarantee that as time goes on. I mean, maybe some bollards are put up so no one can drive through and run through a bunch of kids, you know? So, but again, once we own it though, if you abandon it, we own it, like we would have the right to do whatever. But
Right.
as it's planned today, yeah, it would remain open. Because, and really, this is a little bit of a dated photo because that field up on the top left, we actually amended our plan with the city to add a second field next to it. So this would actually show 3 fields, the one on Ralston and the 2 up top. So you're going to have significant pedestrian traffic coming in and out of that alley. So it won't be fenced anytime soon, as far as my understanding, maybe some bollards, but it would be accessible.
I do. So my primary concern with this neighborhood is the pedestrian experience 24/7, not just like I said in my last question. So personally, I would feel a lot more comfortable with this if you can say we're going to put up bollards so that cars can't go through, but pedestrians can use this at any time, because that contributes to the pedestrian experience of the city. And my feeling right now is we have lots of surface parking lots, lots of whole block event spaces, and if you're walking, you have to walk all the way around them, and it's a very lonely, boring walk because there's just a wall outside the Glow Plaza. There's no storefront. It's not very nice to walk when there's not something happening. So you mentioned that this is a tourism-based economy, and I know that tourism is important, and we want lots of stuff. We want events to some degree, but we are trying to diversify as well and not be, when there's not a special event going on, the downtown is dead because this is we're going to have people drive in and come for an event, and then but they don't live there. So I think, there's been a lot of back and forth about what Jacobs is doing and how much information the public has at any given point in time. And I think people will be a lot more comfortable in general if there's a sense now that okay, we built one residential building and then there's 3 event spaces and there's more event spaces coming, and it kind of feels a little bit out of balance. I think it will be more comfortable in the public discourse if we kind of have feel like things are more even priority, and it's not like we're leading with all the event stuff and then we'll do the residential last. Or I know there's one, but if there could be a little bit more evenness in terms of tourism focus versus trying to increase. We want people here, right? Which means I think you'll generally have more people if they live there versus if they're driving in from South Reno or Sacramento for a weekend. So I want to see that balance between tourism and residential and local business serving people at all times of every day. And I know you're here to talk about the soccer fields, but it's always contentious when it comes up what's happening in this neighborhood. And I think it will be more comfortable for a lot of people if we see more evenness in terms of all those different uses that are getting proposed in sequence.
And if I may, Mr. Chairman, sequence depends on market conditions, right? The apartments that we built were slated to cost 20 million, they costed 30 because of labor, because of materials, tariffs. And Mr. Jacobs has said he's underwater by millions of dollars now on residential, right? And so going and continuing that model down Second Street, the J Resort would probably be closed next year. But we need to build the J Resort, get people downtown, get the festival grounds, get some revenue, bring in more residential. I mean, it's a big puzzle, right? And making sure we put all the pieces there correctly in a responsible way to the community, but still a responsible way to someone who has invested $1 billion in our community. Like, how lucky are we that we have that in downtown Reno? Like, Fresno saying, come here, Boise saying, come here, like, we have that. So we're being responsible about it, but it's how to put the pieces together to do it right. And aesthetically, I would say, I mean, I personally think this is not a good pedestrian experience walking down this alley. I think with a soccer field to the left, with some turf, with some nice fencing, with some bleachers, with some food trucks. I mean, this is going to look a lot different in the next 9 months, which I would argue is a public benefit and argue is the pedestrian experience you're looking for. This versus some green next to you when you walk down this road, I think would be, in my opinion, pretty valuable.
Absolutely. I understand the starting point is very, very low. So just taking this opportunity to express that concern, and I hope that in pursuing this project, you'll consider as much as possible the 24/7 neighborhood experience.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anthony, last
Me
one.
for the record.
Okay,
Sorry
Anthony
about
B.
that.
I've never had so much talk about abandonment in my life. I love it.
Okay. So I think that the issue of the confusion, what would defray people's fears is would remaking this be similar to the alley, not the alley, the walkway to the Glow Plaza between 3rd and 4th between Ralston and Washington? Would it have a similar features like how just a walkway?
It's a great question. I mean, I don't know, but I could envision, yes, the bollards and some new concrete through there. Yes, but I don't want to guarantee anything today, but yeah, that would be, we think, part of the vision.
All right,
But
great.
it's a good comparison. Thank you.
Gonna go ahead and move on from there. Sometimes we let it go a little bit long because I always think more talking is better than less. So
I appreciate it.
yeah,
Thank
no
you.
problem. Thank you for coming out. Thank you so much.
Thanks, everyone. Appreciate your time.
All righty, so we're gonna move on to C, which is business items, which we have none. Therefore, we will move on to item D, which is board, commission, committee, member reports, announcements, and discussion of future agenda items. Okay, so does anybody have any future agenda items or comments that they have right now? No? Maya?
Can I make a remark about the public comment we received, or is that or kind the topic
Like the person who came in?
or about the issue that was raised?
Oh,
Can we do that?
are you, I'm sorry, I'm still a little confused, like the person who came in earlier?
Yes.
Public comment? Callie can we discuss?
I think that's fine.
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just wanted to add that I'm glad to see somebody come and talk about that, because I walk past that parcel very often, and I have been similarly curious about its state and its use. So it would be nice to, I forget who owns it. I think it's the trust that owns it. And I know that there was a permit that went through for some sewer work on that parcel, which I saw all the vehicles that are there right now, and I thought maybe they were going to build something and got excited, and somebody told me, no, it's just a sewer work thing. I think that would be worth looking into or trying to get some sort of light shed on, because I share I would like to see something built there. We can't make anybody, but I share some of the commenters' concerns. So I just wanted to make sure that we hold on to that.
Definitely, yeah, and I know he's not here, but if the commenter sees this or hears this, also go talk to the city council as well and do a public comment there. And then while I'm already talking, Dalton D. Cason for the record. I'm sorry, were you done? I'm sorry. Yeah, are you sure? Okay, all right. My only thing is, this is kind of out of the blue, but with like Uber drivers and delivery people, I think that I don't know who we would talk to about that, but I think that maybe they need to identify themselves somehow, like wear a vest or something, because we're just having a lot of people who are just going into our community, up to people's homes, and people don't know who they are sometimes. So I just think that that might be something to look into. So, yeah. All right.
Kelly, is there a way we can get whoever's running Reno Direct to come in and answer some questions about, how, again, about how they're prioritizing responses and stuff like that for next meeting?
Jennifer Alvarez, Council Liaison, Council Relations Liaison for the record. That is something that we're actually working on with the Reno Direct staff. They are, just as you know, everybody's pretty tight on time and short-staffed a bit, but that is something that we want to bring to the NABs, and Reno Direct is aware of that request too. I think it's beneficial, just like you said, because certain requests require a different response, I guess, and time as well. So it is something that we're looking into. And also, just so you know, I connected with the constituent who reported those concerns, and we're going to be in communication. So I'll distribute that information with you as well.
Okay, any other comments, the discussion for future agenda items, anybody? All right, I don't see any, so we'll go ahead and move on to public comment. Item E.
I do not have any public comment in person, and we do not have anyone online with their hand raised. Oh, we got one hand raised.
Okay.
I'm gonna allow you to speak. Just unmute your mic, state your name for the record. You'll have 3 minutes. You'll just have to unmute. There you go.
All right, I think I unmuted there. My name is Matthew Winterhawk for the record. I was just listening in. I have a future hopefully in Carson City and Reno and that area up there, and I'd like to be up there when I serve. So I just want to hear what's going on in Ward 1 inside of Reno and looking at all the different areas and listening to everything you guys were saying. And sounds like a lot of fun people up there. A lot more fun up there than it is down here in Clark County. But it's on the record. It is what it is. The reality is that I just enjoyed listening, and I'm continuing to do that through every board, which like 331, more than 2,500 plus meetings inside of the state of Nevada. I assure you, it is very full every day, Monday through Friday. And I appreciate the work that each and every one of you put into this. So just wanted to say that. And thank you, and Happy New Year, even though it's late into the year.
Thank you,
you, Maddie.
Thank you.
Okay.
With that, I do not have any other public comment.
Okay, great. Then that leaves us with item F, which is adjournment. Can I please get a motion to adjourn?
Even for the record, I think.
Okay, just for the record, Mike Steeman for adjournment. Your mic wasn't on, but that's okay.
Shonda Golden for the record, I second.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Great, that closes the meeting of today. I forgot the date. Thank you.